My people, my people, my people, what's happening? What's happening? Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. We made it. Another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. How we doing? How we feeling? What's going on? Talk to me. Let's see. Let's see. Hello, hello. How are you? Carp's Grocery. Hello, hello. Heya, heya. Quanique, Kwani over there. Good vibes. There you go. Good vibes over there on IG. Say what's up. Who we got in the building? Zal Storm is in the building, y'all. Peggy is from Peggy from Houston is in the building. Peggy gonna let y'all know where she from. You hear me? What's up, Michael? In the building? What's up with the thumbs up? I see you. I see you. Happy Tuesday, Lady Love. Hello, family. Hello, family. What's going on, y'all? What's good? How was your day? How was your weekend? How was your holiday? What y'all do? What y'all cook? What y'all eat? How we feeling? How we feeling? Another day above ground. We doing good, aren't we? We doing good. Look at Michael. Michael talking about, listen, Charlotte, North Carolina's in the building. I don't know what you're talking about, Peggy. I don't know what you're talking about, Peggy. Charlotte is in the building. Janelle is in the building. I see you. I see you. What's up? What's up? What's up? Trouble. Uh-oh. Michael say trouble. Good evening, girl. What's up? What's up, y'all? IG's in the building, y'all. IG is in the building. What's happening, y'all? How we feeling? How we feeling? We good? We hanging in there? We feeling okay? How do I stop this thing? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Usually can hit stop, huh? How about that, Kelly? Duh. How y'all doing? Okay? We all right? We good? Happy Tuesday. You job search the whole weekend. Listen, we talking about that tonight. We talking about that. We talking about that. So you in the right spot. You are in the right spot. Yes, yes. Quanick. Is it Kwani? You want to come on over to YouTube? Kelly Jack. Is it what's the title? What's the thing? Kelly Jackson, I think, or I am Kelly Jackson. I'm gonna be sharing my screen. So up to you, but you cool where you are. You cool if you want to. But you're more than welcome. We got a whole gang over here. We got a whole gang. Michael, somewhat. Y'all, let's give Mike some love. What's going on? See Tuesday, right, Janelle? Right. Y'all, let's give Mike a hug. What's going on, Michael? Listen, you snuck in here on us. You snuck in here. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. I'm so happy to see y'all. So happy. Listen, y'all, this lady said 1,500 applications. Y'all heard what I said? 1500. 1,500 applications, 20 interviews, big old goose eggs. We're going to talk about that tonight. Goose egg, big old goose egg. Y'all know we was talking about that last week. People say, I've just been applying, and ain't nothing coming. What's up with that, y'all? What's up with that? All right, we got you, Michael. We got you. Hold on. We're going to give you some love. Hold on. Okay, Kwani says she's coming over, y'all. When she get over here, let's give her a big old hug. She's coming over. Listen, y'all, we're going to talk about the job market. I'm glad everybody's doing okay. We're here, right? We okay. We're going to watch the day away. I know there's a lot going on, but we're here. That means there is something for us to do. There is more life to be had because we're here. All right? We're going to figure this thing out together. That's why we're here. We're going to do it together. We got each other. All right? Y'all ready? Listen, 1,500, y'all. That's a lot of job applications. That's a lot of job applications to be sending out, right? To get 20. What's the conversion? What is that percentage-wise? 20 interviews from 1,500 job applications and then no job offer. 0, y'all. Janelle said, I can believe that. Teresa, hello. Janelle is right, though, y'all. It's happening to everybody. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Listen, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you where I got this from. We're going to talk about it. I think her name is Lindell, if I'm saying that right. I think that's who it is. Let me share my screen. We're going to get into it. Y'all ready? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. Because that's a lot, y'all. I mean, that's a lot. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hold on. All right. That's a lot of job applications. And again, it's not uncommon, to Janelle's point, right? To Janelle's point. Okay, y'all let me know. Share screen. Oh, it's asking me what window. I think we're gonna go here. Allow. Okay, here we go, y'all. So let's listen to this. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get some context around these 1,500 for those. Hey, TT! Hey, TT! It is crazy. It is crazy. I'm sharing my screen, T, over on YouTube if you want to hop over. But y'all, let's listen to this and then we'll talk about it.
Despite 9 federal rate hikes over the past year, American job makers added 236,000 jobs in March. But that's nearly 100,000 fewer jobs than were created the previous month. The nation's unemployment rate also stands at 3.5%, which is a slight improvement from February at 3.6%. For more, let's bring in Lori Bettinger. She is the president of Bank Alliance and a former director of the Troubled Assets Relief Program during the Obama administration. So let's start with the foundational question. Is the labor market finally getting cooler?
Well, I would say that we still have a really healthy labor market, as we saw in today's numbers, but it does feel like it's starting to slow a little bit. But again, it's still adding jobs. The unemployment rate's still low. We're seeing strength in a variety of sectors. But as we've talked about for a number of months now, everyone's looking for this slight cool down, and we might actually have it this month.
I think so. Okay, so let's talk about the quality of jobs and wages. Are they keeping up with inflation?
So they're not quite keeping up with inflation. We're still seeing wages increase, but not by as much in prior months. And, when you look at it and you see, for example, wages increase by numbers around like 4%, maybe 4.5% versus inflation, which has been running higher than that. They're not quite keeping up with inflation. But again, that's what, some of the policymakers and economists are so focused on inflation are looking for, because a lot of these wage pressures are probably continue to drive the higher prices. But, if you're out there at the grocery store, you might not feel like your salary is going as far.
No, that's for sure. So anecdotally, we have a teenager in our house, and he and his friends have been looking for jobs without success for months. So they see this disconnect between their experience and all these reported openings.
Yeah, it's interesting. And we've continued to hear about, sometimes the companies that are looking for workers, they might be in locations, whether it's states or areas where there's actually a very low unemployment rate and they don't have a lot of available workers. And then to your point, there could be available workers maybe looking for jobs with more flexibility or part-time jobs, and they might not be in an area that, has those opportunities. So trying to match the, openings up with available employees is something that I think has always, caused a little bit of friction in the numbers.
So let's take that a step further. If we talk about the geography, are there parts of the country where you see these greater job openings than others?
Well, I think, we've certainly seen in some of the Midwestern states, these numbers where unemployment rates are well below the national average, talking about 2.5%, versus our national average of 3.5%. And conversely, I think there's probably areas of the country that might be really dependent on, for example, the technology sector, which has, lost some jobs, although we're not really seeing it in the data in a way that perhaps the headlines might show, where, the job market's a little softer. But for the most part, in most communities, there's still a pretty strong job market when you look at the overall numbers.
And finally,
so what we think about that? Here's how I started thinking about this. So the headline says the white collar job market is hitting a wall. So that means it can mean a lot of things, right? We know blue collar, we know white collar, right? So they're saying that a different type of job is hitting a wall, meaning it's taking more to get these types of jobs than others. So is it the quality of the job that's in question? And what does this mean? Now, this is the lady I was sharing with you all. This is Lindell. You see her name right here, Lyndal, Lindell. And here's what she said. She's a 41-year-old product marketer. She left her job at a startup in March in search of work at a more established company that would offer more growth opportunities. Since then, the Washington, D.C. resident estimates she submitted 1,500 applications, but has had only 20 interviews for new positions. She said the conversion rate is abysmal. I would not put that on my CV in a marketing context, she joked. I'm definitely finding it less effective than previous job searches. Hear what she just said. I'm going to read it again. Listen to what she said, y'all. I'm definitely finding it less effective than previous job searches. So this tells us what? She's been in the market before, probably it sounds like recently, because she said earlier she left her job, which was at a startup. And she said, you know what? I want to go find a more established company. So she was doing this same job search before. And now she's saying, I'm finding it even harder, right? She said, feeling that I'm shouting into this void is the most difficult part. You just don't know. For every application, does the job still exist? Is the job still open? Am I a good fit? Is it a good wage? Do they already have someone that they're interviewing? There's just a lot you can't see. Now, it's noteworthy that employers are still hiring. We just heard that, right? They just said all these jobs they added. Payrolls rose by 230K in March, so 230,000 in March, while the number of unemployed workers is near historic lows. Now, they measure the amount of jobs that have come into the marketplace through ADP by companies' payrolls. So they know that if the payroll has increased, that means jobs have increased. So this is how they got to that 230,000. Now, yet there's been a marked slowdown in hiring for many white-collar jobs as businesses gird for a possible recession. And then it goes on to talk about the different sectors, technology, banking, insurance, and so on and so forth. So let's talk about this. So she's saying, before when I was in the job market, it wasn't as hard. I'm a product marketer, right? White collar jobs. But now I'm finding it even harder. Am I asking for too much? Do they even know who I am? Have they just forgot about me? What's going on? I sent 1,500 job applications and I got 20 interviews and still no job. Now we have to think about white collar jobs, because I remember 18 months ago when they start saying all these jobs are in the market, because I was telling y'all about it. We were talking about it. 330,000 jobs in the market. There's 2 jobs for every one person. 400 jobs was in May and 400,000 in December and 230. So there's jobs. But the question, y'all, is what kind of jobs? What kind of jobs are in the market? And so for those of us like Mike saying, I need a job. I've been applying, ain't nothing popping off, ain't nothing happening. Right? We talked about it last week, and somebody was saying last week, when I asked for your word of the night, she said applying. So what's happening? What types of jobs are in the market now? If they're adding all these jobs, we just saw it, right? They're adding all these jobs, right? Unemployment is at an all-time low, which says, okay, is everybody working? Right? And I just heard it was lower than it was a month ago. So what we have to ask ourselves, for us that are in the job market, that's conducting job searches, or even if you are currently working and you're thinking about a career transition and transitioning, and you're a white collar worker, we have to think about our job search a little bit differently. She just shared with us, it's different than before. I've been going to the job boards. I've been applying. And ain't nothing happening. Let me see, what y'all thinking? What y'all saying? What we saying? Yeah. 50, look at Michael said it, 50 and no interviews. So I said, I'm trying to hang in there, but I'm ready. Hey, Suzanne, good evening, lady. Angela's in the building. What's up, girl? Clifford is in the building. Clifford said, Let me see. I can start putting these up here. Y'all see, I'm fancy. Look at there. Look at there. Clipper said, I question the jobs amount. I've learned that it doesn't decipher if a person has more than one job and the percentage isn't reported. I question the job's amount. Gotcha. And I've learned that it doesn't decipher if a person has more than one job and that percentage isn't reported. That could be true. That could be true as well. Carp said, I think the use of AI, y'all, let me show this. Janelle said, yeah, but what was the salary and what is it exactly? Good point. Look at y'all. Listen, we don't play over here. Y'all don't be playing no games. Carp's Grocery said, I think the use of AI in the job search is affecting getting an interview and getting hired. That's a great point. That's it. That's a good point. All of these are great points. Elle said, hey, looking at your job application, Michael said, it depends on who's looking at your job application. That's true. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about, because what came to mind to me when I thought about white collar jobs is the quality of the job, right? One of the things she mentioned in there, and she said the quality of the roles are not the same. So how do we define the quality of a job? Is it just white collar jobs? She's a product marketer and she couldn't find one. But that other lady was saying it's the quality of the roles that's in the market right now. And I remember during the pandemic, y'all remember that the only people that were working, right? They called the essential workers, right? The front line people that we needed at the stores. But we know certain sectors, certain verticals like retail and hospitality wasn't doing that good back then either. But now these are the jobs that are in the market, right? So when that headline says we're white collar jobs are hitting a wall, are the companies looking for, what are they looking for? So if we're in the job market or we're thinking about a career transition and we want to make a move, what are they looking for? Why aren't they calling me? Why do I have to put in so many applications? What's going on? Let's look at this. Another one, y'all. Another one. Let's look at this. So you're not imagining it. This is another article from Time Magazine. Job hunting is getting worse. Now remember, there's all these jobs in the market, y'all. They say there's 2 jobs for every 1 person. They say unemployment is at an all-time low. Why is it getting harder? There was a time not too long ago when employers were in such a rush to hire workers that they were doing anything they could to make it easier for people to apply. That time has passed. Job hunting was becoming more miserable even before the pandemic, as the amount of time companies took to hire stretched out and as they asked candidates to undergo more and more interviews, right? And so this person is saying, Michael Cook saying, it's frustrating and tiring. Job hunting has never been this hard. He was laid off from a gaming company in December, and after more than a decade in the professional labor market, and who has applied to hundreds of jobs since. One company, we're going to talk about this, y'all. One company had him go through 6 rounds of interviews over multiple months. Another asked him to create a project that they then used on their website, but didn't pay him for his work. Others sent him take-home tests or asked him to record videos of himself answering preset questions. He has not received any offers. I wanted y'all to hear that. So when we're out here looking for these jobs and we're out here interviewing, understand, know your rights, know your worth, know your value. Anytime it's just like like a dog, these employers, right? I'm not calling them dogs, but they can sniff out the desperation, you all. So I want to give you some questions to ask. I'm gonna give you two things to think about, right? And we'll get into some other things, but I want to do this before I forget. Two things to think about when you get the call. First, let me back up. So for those that are in the job market, those that are thinking about transitioning from their current employer or your role, you want to do something different. This is the second half of your life. You're ready to make a change. You need to figure out how to make more money because you need to set yourself up financially. You got your 401k going, but we all know what the stock market look like. It ain't making enough money that's going to sustain you for all the years that we're going to be living, right? So if you're thinking about it even, and you're out there and you're looking, I talk to people every day and they tell me that I'm looking right now. I'm always open. I'm always looking. But I have to stay where I'm at right now because I got bills to pay. Right? Why should we be stuck somewhere, y'all? And that's what it feels like. It feels like you're stuck. I've been there. I was there. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Let's see what you're saying. Angela said, yes, I would agree. AI is definitely impacting the market. Bots are taking over. Michael said, I have the experience, but because I've been working odd jobs and don't look like that on my resume. That's a clue. That's a good point, Michael. So now you know, right? It's just like going to the doctor's office. My nose is running. I've been sneezing. I got a headache. I've been coughing. These are the symptoms. Okay, what's the diagnosis, doc? All right, you have pneumonia or you have a cold. Okay, Michael, you know you've been applying, right? You already know you've been diagnosed yourself. Because I've been working all of these odd jobs, they don't like that on my resume. So what does that mean, Michael? What does that mean? Hey, Tom. Tom says there seem to be a lot of $17 to $18 per hour jobs out there. That's true. That's true. Teresa says it's true. I just got so disgusted when applying for so many jobs. You get frustrated. You get overwhelmed. Lady Lowe said, that is my question. What are they looking for? You know, Lady Lowe straight up, she gonna ask, what's going on? Janelle said, don't believe the hype. Don't believe it. Linton said, I believe the natural is fading away. Facts. That's true. That's true. Linton said, true. Too many hiring games are being played. I definitely feel, that's it, Janelle. I know that feeling, y'all. You feel stuck, like I can't move because I still got to pay my bills. And I really ain't got time to be out here playing games with these employers, like these recruiters not calling. I'm not getting the interview. I'm not getting any offers. Then they want to lowball me. I ain't got time for that. I got stuff to do. I got bills to pay. I got to think about my future. Right? So here's what I want you to think about, because you are going to get a call, because I'm going to help you with that. When you do get the call, right, from a recruiter, some of the things that you want to ask them, the first question you want to ask is, why is this position open? Why is this position open? More specifically, you want to say, is this a new position or is this role being backfilled? Right? If you use that word, right, you're speaking the language that they didn't know that you knew. If you say, did somebody leave, they would expect that. If you use that word backfill, then they're gonna have to come straight up with you, right? Is this a new role or is this position being backfilled? Here's why you want to know that. If this is a new role, then the company is more than likely going to take its time, right? Because it's new. They're not sure what they're looking for. I work with a client. It was a new role. They didn't have anything flushed out in terms of the interviews, the rounds, who was going to be interviewing, what they were looking for. And I mean, they took clients through heck, and it was so unfair. It was so unfair. Y'all just read and you saw the rounds of interview. That's your second question. But this first question, is it a new role or is this a backfill? If it's new, that means it's something they created. They're not necessarily in a rush, right? So you may have to go through these different hoops so they can figure out who would be the best fit for the role. This will tell you, right? It will give you a gauge on the time it's going to take and what you have to do to get this role and how they are positioned in the market for this role, meaning they're looking right now. They're looking for someone to help them figure out what this role should be, right? And so you want to get that question answered because it's going to tell you, okay, what to expect. And what I'm attempting to help you with is the frustration and feeling tired when it comes to applying. Because you'll know, okay, all right, this is a new role. I know I got to position myself. I know they're going to be looking at, other people, which is true for all other roles. But for new roles, they're trying to really figure out who's going to be the best fit for this role, right? So I got to really bring my A game. And of course, you do that with all interviews, but it's going to put you in a position, in a posture of they're trying to figure it out. And so one of the things I would think about is, since it's new, let me tell something they may not know about this role. So if it's a product, if it's a digital marketing manager role, right? And it's brand new, I'm going to bring something to the table that they may not have thought of. For a digital marketing manager role, one of the things, your competitor is Verizon. And one of the things they do with their marketing campaigns is they bring in celebrities as a da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so one of the things that you can do, Samsung, for your company is we can get influencers over there on TikTok and we can show them. So you come in, you're ready to go. Game change. Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's great. They're going to remember you for that. They're going to remember you for that. They're going to jot that down. And you can do this even if it's not a new role, but you know the type of mind frame they're in because it's a new position. You tell them something they may not know about that role, especially if this is your wheelhouse, right? This is your industry. You've been in it for a while. You know this market. You know this role. So it helps you to posture yourself and position yourself if you know if it's a new role or a backfill. The other thing is, I'll get to the interview part later. Now, if it's a backfill, typically they're in a more desperate position. Their posture is a little different if it's a backfill. Sometimes if you ask the right questions, you can get more from the recruiter about how long it's been open. You ask them how long. Well, actually, we had someone resign some recruiters don't know. I don't want to say any better, but they don't know, right? So I would get as much information for you as you can, even if you're currently working and if it's an internal role, because you may be in a big company or a mid-sized company, you want to know the position of that hiring manager, that decision maker. If it's a backfill and someone has left where they're not going to tell you this, but in your mind, you're thinking, okay, they're trying to fill this role because that means somebody else is picking up the load at this point. Or that means that they got to hurry up and get someone in here. So let me, think about it in that way. Let me just go in here and kill it and just get in there and get it done. Right. And 9 times out of 10, the interview process will be shorter if it's a backfill. Again, you want to give yourself as less stress as possible by asking these questions up front, right? It's a backfill, right? You know that they're probably ready to get someone in because somebody probably is taking on what this person left, or if they're even getting ready to leave. So that's a question you can ask. Now, let me get to the interview part. And we just read, and this happened to me like 2 months ago with a candidate that I presented to a client. First of all, it was a new role, like I said, to you all. And I want y'all to hear me because this happens and it's happening now more frequently than ever because people are coming to these employers in a desperation mode and they're just talking to them and throwing them away like it's nothing. New role. I had to ask how many rounds of interview. I do that anyway as a recruiter. They didn't know because it was new. And so in an effort to educate them on what the market is, the industry standard is 3. You get the pre-screen from the recruiter, you go through the hiring manager, and then their boss, typically. It didn't work like that. Not only did they go through 4 rounds of interviews, they had to take a test and had to do a presentation. Now, you know how much that weighs on a person? How much anxiety and how much frustration and overwhelm there is in doing all of that? That's a lot. And I did have a conversation, but they weren't trying to hear me. So it's their company, right? But this girl that I presented to them, actually it was 2, it was a guy and a girl. Both of them did an entire presentation. The young lady that did the entire presentation, this is a new company, I would say fairly new. They ended up taking what she created for them and using it and didn't hire her. And I'm like, there's got to be some type of repercussions, or there's got to be some law or something. So when I'm sharing this with you because you just saw it in writing and I'm telling you an own experience that I had. That's why you want to ask these questions up front. How many rounds of interviews? That's the second part. How many rounds of interviews are there? If they can't tell you, you tell them to get back to you when they know. Right? You want to know what you're up against, y'all. This is just going to position you in a better light and help you save as much stress and overwhelm and frustration as possible. If they tell you, you know, there's 4 rounds of interviews, how soon are they looking to hire? As soon as we find the right person. Know what you're getting into. Are there panel interviews? A lot of companies now also are going through assessments and tests and coding and exercise and presentations. You always want to get it in writing, y'all. If you talk to a recruiter over the phone and they said, well, they want you to create a presentation showing us how you would bring additional foot traffic to this particular store. Can you send that to me via email and spell out exactly what they want? Because if it ever comes back and they take your idea or your IP, which is your intellectual property, you'll have it documented. Get everything in writing. My daughter made a mistake a while ago and she didn't get it, and it's been a whole thing because I already knew what was up. I told her from the beginning, but she didn't want to listen. She didn't want to listen. I said, get in it. She didn't get it in writing, and she got stuck. She had to take the L, like they said. I'm like, you didn't get it in writing. She got mad. Get everything in writing. I don't care how friendly, and she was laughing with the person. And Kiki, okay, Kiki, put it in writing. Y'all with me? Where are we at? Where are we at? Linton said, I believe friends are looking out for friends for wrong reasons. That happens too, Linton. That's true. Carp's Grocery said, word of advice for all who are job searching, never apply twice to a company, a method I used for 30 years. Derek said, hey, Derek, as usual, you're absolutely right. New roles can take weeks to months to fill, and that's so frustrating. I also appreciate the new terminology to use. Yes, yes. Janelle said, that's too much. I hate taking tests. I know. Way too much in a hiring process. A lot. Yeah. 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 Derek says, potential employers have been actively testing in my region for a while. There have been several times I was only interviewed to get internal issues. Ain't that something? They will use your knowledge, your value. That right there is that sends me. That sends me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They will do that, especially as much as I like startups, they'll do it, y'all. And you have no recourse. you're just trying to get the job and you're doing your best. You're giving it your all. And they taking your intellectual property. That's your whole thing. You didn't spend time working on. So think about that. Make sure you ask questions, right? And so I want you all to, when it comes to applying for these jobs, right? Like the lady Lindahl said in that article, it's different than before. Pretty much everything is different, y'all. And for most of us, we're accustomed and we're used to doing things just like we used to do. But y'all know the definition of insanity. Y'all know what you get if you keep doing things the same way. Right? We know we can't keep doing things the same way, especially if, like Janelle was saying, I feel stuck. We don't have to live like that. You don't have to live like that. It may feel like that because that's what stuck is. We just have to do things differently. People are getting jobs. We just saw there's more jobs than ever. The types of jobs, right? Which means that would tell me, okay, I need to really be a master of what I'm doing. I have to come in there, with my A game. Sometimes we go in there thinking and giving cookie cutter answers and thinking that we're telling them what they want to hear, when in actuality, they want to hear something different. They want to hear something different. There's a whiteboard in there. If you in an office interview, get on a whiteboard. Let me show you what I mean. John, let me show you what I mean. Here's what I did when I was at Verizon. We took this right here. They ain't never seen that before. How bad do you want it? You got to do something different. And when you're job searching, we can't do what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is going to the job boards. They're going to Indeed. They're going to LinkedIn. What can we do differently? Can we reach out to the hiring manager or recruiter? Can we use our LinkedIn Premium, which is free for 30 days, to tell us who the recruiter is and reach out to them directly? Can we do that? Yes, we can. Can we make sure our documents are updated and they show us in the best light? It's not a task-oriented functional resume. It's achievement-based. It shows everything that we have to add value to that company. We can do that. We can't sit there and just apply, and see what's going to stick to the wall. Oh, 1,500 applications, 20 interviews, and 0 offers? Yeah, you would be frustrated. I would be frustrated. Makes you want to give up, makes you want to quit. It makes you say, what's wrong with me? And oftentimes it's not what's wrong with us. It's our method. It's our methodologies. It's our thinking. It's our mindset. There's been job boards since the industrial age. The first job board was when they sent the guys to war and everybody had to leave. And so nobody was working. So they took a piece of paper and put it on a tree or on a lamppost. That was the first job board. They've been doing that since back then. We got people I think Jay was on here last week sharing with us. He went to Chat GPT to do his resume. We got to think differently, y'all. If we're going to get something different, if we're feeling stuck, if we're frustrated, if we're overwhelmed, if we had enough, if we're tired, we got to just think differently. At this stage in our life, this phase of our career, if we're on the second half, if we want the second half to be better, if we want to set ourselves up financially, if we think that 100K in our 401K or that 30K in our 40, how long is that going to last? There's been 10 interest rate hikes. And we're probably going to have another one next month. How many compensation increases have you gotten? 10 interest rate hikes. And we're probably going to have another one and another one. How many increases have you gotten on your salary to keep up with it? We can't be so afraid to make a move that we end up being miserable and just existing and going through our lives as a routine because we're afraid. We just got to think different. Which I think. Teresa said the triggers. I've experienced the same, interviewing, giving my answers, and realizing that they were taking my answers in free consultations. There you go. There you go. Y'all are smart. They know it. They know it. They know it. They plan what they're going to ask you. They look at your documents. They look at your resume. They look at your LinkedIn. Oh, she worked with so-and-so. You can tell by the questions if you listen. Oh, so you worked for so-and-so. Tell us a little bit about that. How did you all do so-and-so? Angela said, it's a way for companies to gather information for the positions. Oftentimes, they don't know themselves. That you said a mouthful. I've already read it. I'm thinking faster than I can talk, Angela. They don't know themselves what exactly they need for that new position. The budget just opened for. Let me put this thing on here. That's it. I've seen it over and over and over and over again. This is it right here, y'all. So they use interviews to build the job. That's it. Susan said none. Lindsay said, wow, that's mind-boggling. It's true. Michael said 0. It's so true. And it just happened 2 months ago. It just happened to me 2 months ago. The client I was working, he said it, y'all. If it wasn't for confidentiality, I would show you the email. He said, we don't know what we're looking for. We're figuring it out as I go. You know what I said? I said, that makes for a bad candidate experience. They would send me an email and said, you know what? We need one more interview. I was so embarrassed to call my candidate. I was so embarrassed because I had to work that out. You know what, John, I apologize. I know it's been a long road, but they're really interested in you. They love what you bring to the table. They want to just, they want to talk to you one more time. Do you have any availability? I'll make sure that it's only 30 minutes long. You know what, Kelly? I'm talking to other people right now also. I've been through 4 rounds. This is a conversation. I've been through 4 rounds of interviews. And now they want me to take a test. Now they want me to spend my weekend, and then they put a deadline on it for a presentation. Derek said you can usually tell a fishing expedition interview by the questions. That's true. That's true. Either they don't relate to the job description or they only focus on one thing repeatedly. That's true. You can tell if you listen to the questions. Because listen, the interviews are supposed to be the same. You're supposed to interview people. Everyone you interview should have the same questions. So there's no discriminatory action involved. If I ask Derek this question and ask Linton this question and ask Angela this question, that's discriminatory. Why would I ask Derek this and not Angela? Or why would I ask Angela and not Linton? But if they're asking you specific questions, that's telling, just like Derek said. Linton said, it feels like children are interviewing adults. That's it. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So listen, y'all, when you think about it, right? And I don't want to, we're not scared, right? We're not scared. We're not going to be governed by our fear of this, right? We're going to equip ourselves so that we know what to expect while we're out here. I don't want you sitting in a job you don't like. Life is too short for that. So that's why you get equipped, right? And we come here and we talk and we use and we leverage our community that we're in here, and we talk to each other and we get equipment and we get the tools to take back. So when we're ready to make a move, we know exactly what to do and how to use it. and we position ourselves so we do the best that we can, one, not to be used, and two, to keep our stress level down, because looking for a job is a full-time job. It's a full-time job, right, y'all? It's a full-time job. And then how do we put ourselves in the best light? Because we ultimately want to get the job. We want the offer. And for some of us, that means that we have to take responsibility and accountability for where we are now. Remember, if we're changing our mindset and we're doing things differently, it may be that the knowledge we have right now may not be enough. We may need additional skill set, or we may need to just change our documents. Michael was sharing earlier that he sent out his resume. He knows that he's taking these odd jobs, but it doesn't look good on his resume. You don't have to put them odd jobs on your resume. If the gap is too big, you can put in there what's called a gap clause. You can put that in there, a gap statement, my bad. So it doesn't look like you've been out of your industry or going here and going there or doing odd jobs that's not aligned to what your skill set is. Right? And I can help you with that if that's something you need help with. But you want to think about, if I'm not getting any calls, I send my resume out and I'm not getting any calls, then it's my resume, because they don't know me from Adam. They don't know me. Right? So again, remember we talked earlier about diagnosing ourselves. What are the symptoms? I'm not getting any calls. So, okay. So something's up with my documents, right? And sometimes, y'all, they're looking at your LinkedIn profile. And oftentimes you can see who's viewed my profile. All you gotta do is look. So something's not connecting with them. You know, I'm looking for this particular job title, this particular role, this particular scope of work, and I'm not getting calls about this, but I'm getting calls about this. So there's a disconnect, right? So you want to know what that disconnect is. If you're not getting the calls, then more than likely it's your documents. Now, if you're getting the calls and after you talk to the recruiter, which is the pre-screen, you're not getting the interview, then there's something that's happening on that pre-screen that you're not able to move forward. Typically, the pre-screen is just to vet you to see if you check all the boxes. So something there is not checking for you to move on to the formal interview. So you need to see if you're aligning with that job description. That's what you want to study, and that's what you want to make sure you can nail. Because typically those calls are 20, 30 minutes at most, the pre-screen. Now, if your first interview is with a hiring manager, then that's your formal interview. And if you want to know why haven't I been moved to the next round, it was something that happened in that dialogue that you had with that recruiter on the pre-screen or your first round of interviews. There was a disconnect there. Something's not connecting for them. And if you've been able to go through all of your rounds of interviews and you end up without an offer and you get that notice that says, we've decided to go with another candidate, we loved your skills and experience, always ask for feedback. Doesn't mean you're going to always get it, but always ask for feedback. If you're in a panel interview, right? I'm giving you some things that you can consider doing, right? If you're in a panel interview, and I think we talked about this a couple Tuesdays ago, and you don't get the job, and you know you had a little bit of a good rapport with one of the people on the panel, reach out to them via LinkedIn, send them a message. Thank you for considering me for the role. I really appreciate the time. And even though I wasn't selected, I would love it if you could provide me with some feedback to help me in the future for my professional development. Or if you think my skill set may align to someone within your network, I would love a soft introduction. Leverage the time you spend. How can I make this work for me? Oftentimes we go home and we get down on ourselves. I was rejected. You weren't rejected. You just weren't a fit for that role. Just like dating somebody. You weren't rejected. You just want a match. You're looking for one job, not 50. You just need one. And a lot of us are just one opportunity away. But we go home and we get in our minds and we won't change and we won't invest in new skills. We won't get our documents fixed. We won't show up to write things down, to remember to actually use it and leverage what we know. We just say, I was rejected. They don't like me. It's not you. They are business. They're looking for the best fit for the job. Now, we do know there's people that invite their friends and all that. We can't do nothing about that. We want to control what we can control. Ain't nothing we can do about that. Even if we're working inside of a company, why did I get passed up for the promotion? How come I didn't get picked for that special project? How come I didn't get the spot bonus? How come I didn't get the developmental bonus? How come I wasn't in that meeting? You have to look at you. Are you coming into work doing the same job going home? Coming into work doing the same job going home? Coming into work doing the same job going home? Or you know that there's some initiatives that are happening that you could potentially volunteer for. That's your additional skills. Don't sit there and quiet quit. Y'all know what the quiet quitting is, when you sit there and barely do work because you're mad at your employer because you didn't get the job. Now you're sitting there mad and they know you're mad. No, you know what? I know you got that new hiring initiative, that diversity initiative happening. I'm actually a member of NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. Maybe we can go over there and invite them to our campus and so raise your hand. Sometimes we have to advocate for ourselves, y'all. People don't know if you don't tell them. Closed mouth, what, y'all? They don't get fed. We have to change our mindset. That's what tonight is about. The reason why I want to talk about 1,500 applications, 20 interviews, and 0 offers. Sometimes we got to look at ourselves. It's easy to blame the employers. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't at fault, because a lot of these 4 rounds and a presentation and an assessment and then a personality test is ridiculous. You don't know what you want, just like Angela was saying. You don't even know what you want. You ain't got time for that. Y'all, this is your life as well as it's their business. Derek is good at that. He will tell them, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. Y'all know y'all self-worth. We're not desperate over here. It's too many jobs out there. What we have to do is position ourselves and posture ourselves to know what we're going in. We know the value that we bring, and here is what it is. And sometimes we also have to look at the jobs we're applying for or to. I just need a job. I'm gonna apply here and on Indeed. I'm just gonna apply all night. I'm gonna apply. I'm just gonna keep applying. I just need a job. I just gotta get it. I just gotta get it. I gotta go here and I'm not gonna go over here and I'm just gonna apply. ZipRecruiter and Career Builder and Monster. I'm gonna go on Indeed and I'm gonna see what sticks. And then we get in there and we're not happy. They're not paying us enough. And we're back at it again. Nothing worth having comes quick. If you take the time right now and say, okay, we talked on Tuesday. I talked with the community on Tuesday. Let me see what I've been doing. Let me see what's out there. I know I don't want to drive an hour over here. I know I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to do that. Let me see if there's some remote opportunities that I can work. And it might be, in Canada somewhere. Let me just look. And that article, or on that video, that lady was saying, she said 2 things are the reason why. She said it could be location, and she said it could be people wanting more flexibility. Now, I don't disagree with her, but I would say those things are just surface level. And if you looked at her, she was a little, well, it don't matter. Those are a little surface level. I would venture to say that the reason is more about employers streamlining, being more lean in their business. And it said because of the looming recession. How many years we're going to keep saying that? To me, and this is Kelly's opinion, I'm not saying she's wrong. I do agree some location, but we working remote. I would say that they're looking for people that bring something new and innovative and just different. You've been in your role for 10, 15, 20 years, 8 years. You did something different than they are doing. Something you did. That's what they want to hear. So I don't know if this was helpful or not, but I really wanted to just, because I know it can be frustrating. I know from experience and because y'all tell me. But sometimes we got to pause and we got to look at ourselves. It's like baking a cake. We can keep looking at it, but it ain't done till it's done. It just ain't done till it's done. It ain't going to be good if we take it out too early. We just got to wait. So in that time, while you're waiting, let's get some things fixed. Let's make sure that resume look right. Let's make some tweaks to that LinkedIn profile. It is possible that recruiters and decision makers come to you. We just saw the numbers. They still looking for people, y'all. It ain't over till it's over. What we saying? There you go. Angela said, keep in mind that we are to be interviewing the company as well. That's true. Linton said, it feels like children are interviewing adults. Derek said, Angela's completely right. Most times they try to pressure us to forget that it's a two-way street. That's right, y'all. Always remember that. Always remember that. When I was recruiting, I would talk to them candidates like, you know what? When you go in there, ask them about the work. Ask them about, I really don't want to do this. Is it any way? Ask the hiring manager. They just people. Ask them. Storyteller over here on IG said, okay, new setup. That's it. Carp said, I have faced nepotism for many years here in Western Pennsylvania. Wow. Angela said, I am writing these golden nuggets right now. I definitely need to update my interview language. That's it. Hey, Gina. Gina said, yes. Teresa said, and I need another resume revamp. Yeah. Act your wage. Jay Rich sounds like me. I'm not even getting calls for interviews. We'll need to rework the resume. Very helpful. Janelle said, always interview them. That's it. Always interview them too. Always. That's it. See, now we're thinking, y'all. We're thinking about what it is that we need, right? I love it. That's what we want. We want to think about where is it? Instead of just keep doing the thing and I just keep applying and I just keep applying. Okay, let's pause. Let's think about this, where we're at, what we want to do. And if you want to talk about it, I have career chats. It'll be underneath this video. The link, you can book a career chat. We can just talk through it. Sometimes you just want to talk through it. If you're not sure which way you want to go, if you're not sure where the disconnect is, if you're not communicating effectively, sometimes we get in those interviews or on the calls and we're not sharing our story. We're not sharing our value, right? We're not able to articulate it in the way that it resonates with the hearer. Sometimes we get on there and we talk so much about ourselves, we forget that it's about them and not about us. What can we do for them? How do you articulate what you've done and share it with them so it resonates with them? Right? Sometimes our LinkedIn profiles is I did this, I. Right? Some of our resumes look the same way. Let's think about it. What's in it for them? How are we feeling, y'all? Gina said, what about the company that invites you to apply, looks at your picture on LinkedIn, then sends you a rejection letter in 5 minutes after they see you. How do we know, Gina, that it was your picture? How do we know if it's your experience or what you have on your profile? Derek said the problem isn't 3-to-1 jobs. It's requiring us to perform the 3 positions for our singular pay. That's a good point as well. I ain't gonna even argue with you on that, Derek. That's true. That's true. Some of the roles are that. That's why, to you all's point, a lot of y'all were saying it. Janelle was saying it too. You interviewed them about the scope of work. You know the work, what's entailed by what you do. You can tell, you know what? I know that I'm a HR coordinator. I do the onboarding. But they want me to recruit. They want me to go to job fairs. They also want me to do payroll. And they want me to do open enrollment for the benefits. That's about 4 people's jobs right there. And then they want to pay me X amount of dollars. And listen, you may not mind doing it, but at least get paid. At least get paid. Gina said, my resume is the same as LinkedIn. Exact same thing. So I don't know if, I mean, it could be the case, right? And of course we can think that, and you're probably right. But you know what, Gina, I would respond back from that letter you got. I would respond back and share and ask for feedback. What was the deciding factor? Right? I would ask them for feedback. It could be, right? I'm not going to say that you're wrong. It could be. I would hope not. I would hope not, but I've seen that happen. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I would hope not. Oh, you did? What did they say? Janelle said, but then they want to pay $50K a year for. There you go. That's true. It was your picture? I know they didn't tell you that, Gina, did they? Gina said, and my skills did align. Otherwise, I would have not wasted my time. It is valuable too. I believe you. I do believe you. I believe you could tell. Okay, I hear you. Well, you know what, Gina? The other thing is we don't want to work for a company like that anyway. Right? It could just be divine protection for you. Because if they're going to judge you based on how you look, you would have problems. You would have problems anyway in that company. So just look at it as protection, right? And we're just going to keep it moving. It's their loss. Because anybody with the last name Jackson going to do good work. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody with the last name Jackson going to do some good work. They crazy. They crazy. They missed out on a good one, Gina. They missed out on a good one. That's all right, girl. That's all right. How we feeling, y'all? Was this helpful? Was this helpful? Let me know. Let me know. I always want to make sure y'all walk away with something either you didn't know, you learned, or could be helpful. Was this helpful? Can y'all give me some likes over there on YouTube? That's what everybody asked for. So I just asked for likes. I don't know what it do, but y'all give me some, some likes. Gina, come on now. Anybody with the last name Jackson, they lost. See you. Won't want to be you. Janelle said very helpful. Okay, I'm glad. Peggy said yes. Awesome, awesome. Lady Lowe said yes, very helpful. Listen, y'all. Just we're gonna always, all of us, myself included, we can always find negativity. And sometimes it's real and sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's all facts. 1,500 jobs, 1,500 applications, 20 interviews, 0 offers. We should always ask ourselves, okay, what can I do differently? Because there's jobs out there. That I know for a fact. Having a staffing agency, I can tell you, there's a lot of employers looking for people. Now, they're looking for special people, or specific people, I should say, not special. So we got to tighten up, especially us Well, a lot of years. We got to tighten up. I don't keep telling y'all that just for nothing. That resume got to be polished. It's got to be buttoned up. It's got to be tight. That LinkedIn, they're going to look. Gina just shared with us. They're going to look, y'all. They're going to look, especially a white collar job. They're going to look. We saw what's happening. I share this with you all. My goal for each of these lives that we're on every Tuesday is just to equip you. I want you to have all this in your arsenal, like you putting it in your bag, like I got this, I got this, I got this. Anything pop off, you can just grab, you know what? I know what to do here. I know what to do. This is my resume. I know what to do. I'm gonna do this tonight. You know what? They tripping. They want me to do 4. I didn't hit the thing back there. Y'all see it? That's the thing. I be getting all excited. They tripping. They got 4 interviews. You know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. Right? You know what? I know this was when we was on that thing. I'm just equipping you. That's all I want to do. Right? Don't get a whole bunch of notes and just put it down and just put it and set it there. Activate, use it. Say, I'm gonna take 30 minutes each day and I'm gonna update that LinkedIn profile. I'm gonna take 30 minutes. I'm gonna take an hour on the weekend. I'm gonna update that resume. I'm gonna work on communicating more effectively. I'm gonna work on how I share my story and the narrative I'm telling and how I can share my value. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on my communication. I'm gonna raise my hand in the meetings and I'm gonna ask about the initiatives and all the things that's going on. I'm gonna see what's ahead for fourth quarter. I'm gonna see what's happening in 2024. I'm gonna go back and look at the earnings call for my company and see what they're forecasting, what they're projecting, and see how I can get involved. I'm gonna advocate for myself. I'm not waiting on nobody to come and save me because ain't nobody coming. Nobody's coming. If I'm feeling stuck, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna transition out of here. My 401k is down. They're not giving me any opportunities. There's no growth opportunities. There's no career path. I have to advocate for myself. I'm not going to be 65. I'm not going to be 70. I'm not going to be 55. I'm not going to be 50 and have 100K in the bank and inflation is up 10% and I can't even buy a pack of meat. I can't even pay. All I can do is pay my mortgage and my gas bill. Then I got my property tax and then I got my insurance and then I got my HOA and then I got my car note and then I got my insurance and then I got my gas bill. Then I got my water bill. It's not going to help me. The longer I live, the more expensive it's going to get. I got to take care of this right now. I got to set myself up. I cannot wait on them to do it. It's not happening. You can't wait. At the top of June, when I said we were starting this over, we were coming back. And for those of you that are on the email list, I said there's a sense of urgency. The reason I'm so passionate and I can talk about this the way that I do, because things aren't going to get better, y'all. This is the beginning of the tightening. You got to have a skill. And you got to be confident in that skill. I can't show up here every Tuesday and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all not going to sit here and listen. Y'all too smart. Y'all ain't going to sit here and listen to me if I don't know what I'm talking about. There's a guy on LinkedIn. I should have pulled it up because I don't want y'all to get this guy. He's got 100 and something thousand or a million or something followers on LinkedIn. He's doing career coaching and resumes and things like that. He done took several people thousands and thousands of dollars. One lady said in the comments, she said, I went into my 401k so he can help me because I got laid off from my job. Come to find out, the dude just got out of college. But they so smart with this AI stuff, y'all. They can get followers. Don't y'all go looking at that vanity stuff. Y'all keep it to the basic. Keep it real. Them followers ain't going to pay your bills. Do your due diligence. Check people out. Your work should speak for itself. When I sit on here, people being last week in the comments, everybody that has worked with me and had experience with me, I don't have to say anything. They said it themselves. Don't look at all these, don't look at no vanity metrics of people. Don't look at these people out here with the Rolls Royces and this stuff and saying, don't be fooled. Y'all too smart for that. It broke my heart. One lady was 68 years old. She said, I paid this guy to help me with my LinkedIn. Because I see him all over TikTok and I see him all over Instagram and I see him all over this. Don't do that, y'all. And I'm just sharing because I know that's the age we're in. And sometimes we get so I don't want to say lazy, y'all, but sometimes we don't want to do the stuff. Right? And we don't want to pause and we don't want to take a minute. I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Brady, but I love football. One thing I like about him is that when he get ready to throw that ball, he scanned the field. He take that pause. He ain't in a hurry. He looking. So he can make sure it goes exactly where he wants to go. That's what you want to do. If you want that promotion, you want that internal movement, if you job searching and you want that job, you want more money, you want to talk to your boss about more money, take a minute. Think about what you bring to the table. Write it down, what you brought to the company, what you can bring to the company. And slow down. And then share your value. Again, if you need assistance with that, I'm happy to help. I do career chats. We can talk through it. I'm like a GPS system. Sometimes we just need to bounce and talk about it. That's it. We can just talk about it. You share your goals and what it is that you're looking for and what it is you want to do. Because I believe you should have the desires and the quality of life that you deserve. Everybody should, especially if you're on the second half. And I advocate for that. Because I'm coming up on a time where my parents didn't make it past 59 and 60. And I'm determined to make it. And we're going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. We're going to live, y'all. We're going to live, and we're going to live the best life we've ever had. Y'all with me? The best doggone life we've ever had. We ain't bowing down to no employers. They're going to know what we're worth, and they're going to pay us for it. We got to get our stuff together. But on this side, we're living the best life we ever had. The best doggone life. Get me fired up, y'all. You're welcome, Susan. I love y'all. Teresa said, everything you said is on point. Need to do a bit of self-reflection. Make sure my resume shows the value I could bring to these roles and make sure that they fit my needs too. Teresa, I know you got a lot of value to share. Teresa is that girl, y'all. She's that girl. Susan is that girl. I talked to all of y'all, most of y'all already. Oh, thank you, Gina. Gina hit like. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Lady Low said very helpful. Exactly. It's their loss, Miss Jackson. That's right, Angela. It's their loss. It's their loss. Y'all welcome. Michael said a little better. That's good. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're so welcome. An extremely relevant topic that is almost never discussed. Thank you, Kay. You're welcome. It's so ironic that you picked this topic for tonight. I need to update from you from last week. Okay. Definitely very valuable. Thank y'all. Yolanda! You have to do the work. That's my girl. That's it. That's that opportunity. That's it. I appreciate y'all. I look forward to y'all. I really do. Susan said, I would like the opportunity to talk with you about my value. Okay. You know what? Let me give y'all, I'm going to drop the link in here, and then it'll be underneath this video. Once we get off the call, what I do is I download this video and I put it on YouTube. And then in the description, I put all the information, but let me see if I can get it on. Let me see if I can get it on this other browser. All right, y'all. Have a great, I'm going to drop this for y'all, but I want y'all to have a great week. Make it a great week, even if it's tough, even if you don't see it. If you get up and your eyes are open, that means it's something for you to do. Make sure you're doing it. Make sure you're doing it. Your goal is for you to see, what am I here for? Why am I here? What in the world should I be doing? That's your goal. That's your goal. That's your goal. Why am I here? Teresa said, I said it lazy. Oh, I love you back, Angela. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love y'all too. You need the pep talk. Stacy, keep that fire. I got us all. I got us. I'm going to stay on fire. All right, y'all. Here's my link if you want to schedule some time. And then I'm happy to talk through it with y'all. I love y'all a lot. Be safe, be careful. Make it a great week, and I'll see y'all next Tuesday, okay? Love you, Londa. Love you too. Bye, y'all. Have a good night.